Yeah, my name is Steve, Steve Crowncaster. I actually wanted to speak on a topic that I think is something that is detrimental that I touch, because it's an issue that I guess it has a lot of people. A lot of people are confused on what the scriptures say when it comes to, or when it comes to the interpretation of the scripture in this subject matter. It's really a subject matter about about cults, and when following after leaders that have their own visions and their own ideas, and they move and they do what they want to do. I actually wanted to touch on the actual sect of the Hebrew Israelites. Now, when it comes to the black Hebrew Israelites, the so-called black Hebrew Israelites, I see that there's many different sects when it comes to that group of people. But I was doing some research on it so I can really find out what's been going on, because whenever I go out to like evangelize, I see these some of these guys on the bus and they're preaching, and so this video is really for you all, to hopefully you can consider some of the things. It's not bashing you. It's really coming. I'm trying to come out. I want to come out of love, but I also wanted to explain some of the things. And even if you're not a black Hebrew Israelite, it's some of the things that you can consider. Now, from my research, I seen that the real beginning of the modern day sect of the black Hebrew Israelites is really what's called the African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem. Now, that's the original sect of the modern day sect, and it was started by Ben Ami Ben Israel in 1967. Okay, and I guess this guy, he had a vision, or he had some sort of revelation that the black people in America are the real Jews, and he had a vision and a desire to go back to Israel. Modern day Israel, an angel, or he had a vision or something like that, and he decided that he was just going to go back to Israel. And so right now they're living in Israel as they would believe the real Jews, the black ones. It seemed like the main leaders are Ben Ami, or his name is Ben Carter, but Ben Ami Ben Israel, who's the anointed spiritual leader of the African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem. Then you have Prince Aziel Ben Israel. Then we have he's the international ambassador of the African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem. Then Prince Emmanuel. The member of the Holy Council, and Prince Ram. The member of the Holy Council. Well, I guess basically those guys, they believe that, it's over there, we're the real Jews. We need to go back to where we came from. The white man has pulled the shade over our eyes for all these years. We are really the real Jews. And so they moved over there. Like 2,000 people moved over there, and they're living there up until now. Now, I know there's a conflict between the black Israelites and stuff like that, so they might not look at him as a leader anymore. Or some of them say, hey, we ain't going over there to Israel. We staying over here in America. And I can understand, I can understand that. But I was looking at some research. I guess the main thing that stuck out to me, besides their culture, vegan diet, a lifestyle that was mainly based off of the Torah and the Old Testament, which we would consider the Old Testament. But it was the history that the reason why they really believe that the black people are the real Jews. It says that The black Hebrew Israelites were in Israel. I mean, they're the real Jews. When the Bible speaks about the Jews, that it's really them or their ancestors, black people, and that when they were slave, they were the ones that were slaves to the Egyptians in Moses' time, and they were the ones that were slaves to the Assyrians and the Babylonians, and but 70 Common Era, these African Hebrew Israelites, the Romans made them migrate. When the Romans came and made them, they made them leave and it made them migrate, and they migrated to the different parts of Africa. And then the Europeans took these slaves and took them over to the Americas. Thus, the blacks over here in America are the real Jews. And that's what they're saying. And so, along with other African tribes. All right, well, here's my question. All right, now, understanding that there were already black people in Africa, and if we look at the little land of Israel, are you saying that that little land of Israel is contained all the black people of the world? I don't think you're saying that. I think basically what you're saying is that the black people, there were black people in Israel and black people in Africa. So if there are black people in Israel, black people in Africa, the black people in Israel migrated to with the black people that were already in Africa, and the Europeans took them, then how is it in the world can you say that every black person that's in America is a Jew? How do you know you're a Jew and not from one of the tribes that are already in Africa? What is it, a birth certificate? What did you do your genealogy? Is that how you found out? Like, what is it? Did you have some manuscript that lets you know that you're not African, but you're a Jew? Like, where did you get that information from? How do you really know that every black person or Indian or a Spanish person is a Jew? I just don't really understand that. And I know there's different sects that believe different things, but please, somebody, give me some understanding about how you can come to the conclusion that every black person is a Jew or every white person is the devil. Or some of them believe that, I guess. But Ben Ami, he had a vision, go back to Israel. He went back. But another thing I have in my mind is Israel, 20 years before in 1967, that's when he went back, or it was 1967 when he went back. 40 years before that, the people that are already there, the Israelites, had to battle against the Palestinians for a state of Israel. So now they're going through all this war, they're going through all this persecution, they're going through all this trials, and they're dying in the war. They have to go through the battle. The Arabs are attacking them for the land. Basically, what I'm saying is all the conflict of the holy area is happening amongst the people that are the Israelites there and the Arabs there. The Arabs call the war a catastrophe. The Israelites say it was a day of independence, and they actually get it. And then 20 years later, we got this guy saying, hey, let's go back to Israel. We're the Jews. And they just slide back in, no conflict, no nothing. No miracle, no God working with him, no nothing. And then we have other people that start in these other sects saying that they're real black Jew, but never really even thinking about it. Now we have this other sect that was happening in Miami, Yahweh ben Yahweh. Which I don't even want to go into him, because there's they say that they murdered people, and he went to jail or something like that. Is he still alive? I don't even know if he's still alive. But it's like, it's weird to me. And then they twist these scriptures. Oh, we're gonna get on these scriptures that make them feel like they're Jews, or only Jews will be saved. But the very thing that they're grasping is the very thing that's gonna curse them. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into a little bit of that in a minute.